everyone, and welcome to the Next Best Picture podcast, where I am so excited to be joined right now by the director and writer of the film Gazer, along with the co-writer and star of the film, Ryan J. Sloan and Ariella Mastroianni. Am I saying that right?
That's pretty good. You add a little flair, a little Mastroianni, and you got it.
All right, all right. Guys, I love independent cinema. I love success stories of hearing people just scrapping together to create something that is fresh and original in the cinematic landscape. And you guys chose to tell a story that pays homage to the noir genre, shot on 16 millimeter, self-financed, low budget. Where did the idea for this movie ultimately come from during the scripting phase? Did it start with, I want to tell a story within this genre? Did it start with the character? Where did it all come from?
Well, Matt, I think that's a great question. I think we'll take them back. We'll take them down memory lane. Back to 2020, we started writing, during the pandemic. Ariel was furloughed from her programming position at the Angelica Film Center, and I was working as an electrician in a prison. So it was kind of a dark and uncertain time all around. The paranoia that we felt kind of shaped the movies and the stories that we wanted to tell. So we were just revisiting a lot of noir films and discussing finally doing that thing that we've been talking about for a long time, which was me directing a film and Ariella starring in a film. And we were revisiting films like Carol Reed's The Third Man, Roman Polanski's Chinatown. Yeah, and we were just constantly going back and forth about what these films captured that we don't see anymore today. Today, if any of those films were made, it would end up on streaming. It would be some kind of limited series or something like that, and it would be diluted. It wouldn't be focused in and honed in on this 2 hour constraint. So we wanted to really like buckle down and just make a current noir film that followed a flawed protagonist that was struggling to get by, and an underdog, if you will, as we have felt, because we don't have any formal training or background in filmmaking. So, it felt very much like an opportunity to kind of flex and show what we can do as cinephiles, as lover of the arts, and yeah.
Nice. Did you guys ever have like anybody on set or in the editing process or anything kind of giving you that mentorship to help guide? Since, like you said, this is a first time experience for all of you.
We did share one of the first drafts of the script with two friends of ours, actress Sophia Black-Delia and Henry Joost, who's a director. And it was during the pandemic. We came over, we did, we had Chinese food. We went through our 60-page draft, and they gave us such a great piece of advice that we didn't realize at the time. They said, you can make things harder for Frankie. And it was such a, like Ryan said, we were just learning this whole journey was the process of us trying to learn how to do it and explore.
Yeah.
We were having fun, and that was such a crucial note that they gave us, and then from there, we just continued and had fun.
Yeah. Because I have to imagine too, given that there is a cognitive memory element to this story. So we have unreliable narrator in the sense of, typical noir, obviously. We don't know exactly like what's real, what's not. I have to imagine you have to test that with some outside eyes or ears to get them to fully understand, hey, do we have the story in the right place? We're not losing the audience. Are we sure we're heading in the right direction? Like, how do you find that balance?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of like Ariel was saying, even sharing with like Sophia and Henry, we had some other friends as well that weren't necessarily filmmakers that we were sharing the film. Like we did some like read-throughs and whatnot, just to kind of hear our dialogue, given back to us. We do have one filmmaker friend by the name of Bruce Wemple who has like this kind of Roger Corman-esque vibe where he makes these very low budget films in like 2 weeks and knocks them out. And he was very helpful in terms of keeping us on track with story here and there. Whenever we had like a an issue, we would kind of be like, hey, we're kind of stuck here, and he would always have like a quick fix. Um, but I think it was honestly we went into production. We were shooting in April and November on weekends for 2.5 years.
I'm
And
sorry, wait, say that again. 2.5 years you shot this?
Yeah,
yeah,
over 2.5,
No,
just on mute.
no.
Yeah.
yeah,
This
it
is
was
like true Christopher Nolan following level shit right here. Oh my
yeah.
God.
He, he was definitely following was a North Star for us, and also Pi.
Hi.
Um,
Mm.
and the Coens.
Yeah, Blood Simple.
But simple. We examined a lot of these early films from our favorite filmmakers, and we just tried to figure out. We were like, how did they do what they do without resources? Because we didn't have those resources. We didn't have any financing, any producing partners. We weren't really involved in the industry.
Right.
So the only way we could do it was to get our friends together and do it a little bit at a time. Ryan and I were working,
Multiple jobs.
yeah, like 3 jobs at a time, where we would have our day job, our night job, and then we would come home and write, and then on the weekend we would shoot. And that's what it was for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You guys have all my respect and admiration in the world, because this is the kind of stuff that I love. You know, this is how you discover new filmmakers, and what a platform too to launch this film at as well at the Cannes Film Festival. Like, how, I mean, I imagine you guys self-submitted, and like, just tell me what it was like getting that phone call to hear, holy shit, our first film and it's going to Cannes.
Yeah.
I said we submitted it cold on the website, and we've had so many people ask us, how did you, it's assumed that you know somebody or you had somebody submitted on your behalf. And I think typically, that's what happens. But for us, Ryan, it was always our dream to submit it to the Fortnight. But we ended up submitting it on the final day, on the last day of submissions, just on the website. And Ryan called me. He was like, I did it. Yeah, you want to explain what it was like getting that call from Julianne?
Yeah, I mean, I was literally working in a church. I was changing light bulbs all the way up in the ceiling, and it was like 2 weeks since we submitted, and my phone rang and it said France, and we saw on Vimeo that somebody was watching in France. So we're like, this is hopefully a good thing. And I pick up the phone, and Julian is basically like, Ryan, and I'm like, hello, and he tells me who he is and everything like that, and he tells me we got in. I almost fell off the ladder and died in the church. I think I would go straight to heaven, I think, but
God.
yeah. And immediately called Ariel, and Ariel was like, she literally answered, she's like, I can't take this anymore. We're both like at work hating our lives, and I was like, I have the best news. I was like, we're going to Cannes. And
I still can't wrap my head around
immediately
it.
started crying. Yeah. So it was really magical, and we didn't tell anybody because they told us not to tell anybody. But funny enough, I went to the movies in the city to go see a film that was at Fortnite the year before, called Riddle of Fire, and
Yeah.
I met a cinematographer who had another film that went to Cannes. I won't say what it was. And he was telling everybody that it got into Cannes. And I just went up to him like, man, if I got in, I wouldn't even tell my cinematographer, Matt, who was standing next to me.
He didn't know.
And yeah, I was like, because I'm pretty sure they don't want you to tell anybody. He goes, oh yeah. You know what? Maybe we shouldn't talk about it anymore. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then like the next day I told our cinematographer, and he was like, yeah.
I love that. I'm glad that you brought up Matt, because I think that the film does have a very strong visual style. Not, like I said before, because you have to not only pay homage to the noir genre, but then you also have to find creative ways to shoot in and around the city, and do so on this low budget scale. Tell me just a little bit about like what creative challenges you found yourselves in, and when I say creative challenges, I more so mean, how did you find your way out of certain sticky situations shooting in a DIY kind of setting?
That's a good question. For the most part, we were stealing everything. We didn't get permits for anything. Because we were shooting on film, we did need more light than, a digital camera would need. And we only really Matt used one light. He has this big Nova, which is a big, like, kind of panel light. And that was kind of the only thing we would shoot up on a C-stand. There's only like 7 of us. There was a gaffer, Maddie, sound, my first AD, and first AC,
And then us.
and then us.
Yeah.
Ariel
Wow.
luncheon in between takes. So I mean, like, you know, we were all kind of just everybody was doing multiple jobs and helping each other. And you know, I think this was the first set that Matt was on where he had to rig up his own lights, which you know, was fun for me to watch. I enjoyed that. But you know, I think we just, you know, everything was difficult. Nothing was easy. And, you know, we just got very used to that and just kept rolling with the punches.
I also think in a beautiful way, our constraints were also our freedoms. It's like every sort of technical challenge that we faced, because we were doing it so independently, we were able to do it the way we wanted to do it. And we had that freedom.
Yeah. If we rolled up to an area, like, I mean, I would literally just drive, you know, everywhere we shot were places, exterior wise, were places that I've been driving past my entire life. So if we drove up to that area and I had planned to shoot there and suddenly there were kids playing or something, or there was like a lot of foot traffic or whatever, you know, we would just drive somewhere else and choose a different spot, you know? So it was kind of that easy to change it on the fly.
Yeah, but even just in terms of keeping things small, like you mentioned, on a technical level,
We're all in
like
one van. We're in one van,
everything is a van.
Yeah.
But you know, the constraint of having like one light is also your freedom, because we don't have to build, you know, we don't have to set up
and wait hours,
and we don't have all this equipment. We have one light. We have to figure out a way to use it well, to the best that we can. So it gave us a lot of creative freedom.
Right. And so, Ariella, in your case, you're obviously the star of this movie. A lot is placed on your shoulders. And of course, you two figure a lot out in the writing phase of this character, I'm sure. But for you also, too, like wearing the hat of a producer, unknown hats that maybe not even credited necessarily on IMDb, given the DIY nature of this project. Which aspect of this whole process did you enjoy the most creatively?
Oh, that's such a great question. Honestly, all of it. It was such a stressful time. But I think the only thing that kept us going was the fact that we really loved doing it. There's no other place I would rather spend my time or my money. And I know Ryan feels the same way. No one was asking us to do this. We weren't, you know, hired to do this. We just, from script writing to the performance to production, all of it was just out of this desperate love for wanting to make this film.
That's incredible. I struggled to just get two friends together on the weekend to shoot something on an iPhone back in the day. I don't know how the hell you get
those two
so
friends
many people.
Are very special. You keep them close.
But also,
they still are.
Yeah, and don't get discouraged if you're doing something for 2.5 years and you start losing people, because that'll happen.
Oh, by the end of our shoot, it was just Ryan and I.
Yeah.
Jesus, gosh, I can't even imagine. Well, you guys stuck together thick and thin. Obviously, it's played other festivals besides Cannes, and now it's finally coming out through Metrograph, which is so exciting, given that so many films nowadays don't even see release. They get their festival run and they struggle to get distribution for years. So my hat's off to both of you, and a huge congratulations in that regard. But after the long journey that has taken this film to get to this point, what's next on the horizon for you guys? Have you guys had any phone calls or anything exciting pop up, or is it another DIY adventure all over again?
Yeah, we're writing and developing our next film right now, which we're very excited about. It's an erotic thriller, and that's all we can tell you right now.
But
okay.
It's also apparent in the Paranoia.
We hint at it in Gazer. It's part of the same kind of universe, if you will.
Yeah, it's part of our trilogy. Yeah. We're calling it.
Okay, I see what you guys are doing here. I like this.
Oh,
this is great.
Yeah, your trilogy. Oops.
Cool.
Yeah, that's Wakula.
Hitchcock, Cronenberg references weren't enough. We now have to like dive into gosh, I can't even imagine what you guys are going to pull off actually with that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super happy for both of you. Congratulations once again, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Take care.
Thank you.